Alright, making a lot of use out of where this camera can hold on to recently. I figured I'd do a little compare contrast as I pretty much had a season now and I'm soon to be moving into my second season here in the Netherlands for American football, and the general idea of what I got between football in the States, the same sport but in the States where it was created, versus the Netherlands where it's... Anyways, the one thing that happened with semi-pro in the States is a lot of people on the roster were by and large lazier. Like, they took it for granted that things would happen. I'm not saying that everybody here is perfectly punctual and, always comes to practice. Yes, sir, let's do it. But, and I'm comparing semi-pro to this because it's the same thing. You pay a club fee. It's, pay to play. I guess that's what so many people in the comments. I would never want to pay to play football. But anyways, so but I have to say the general attitude is different. As I was on 3-ish teams, and then because the first team I was around. Didn't really know what I was doing. I was basically first into the sport ever, and then that evolved into a second team that had kind of a different core group, a slightly altered core group, so like similar people. Anyways, and so the dynamic changed a little bit, especially when the quarterback changes. That team, it seemed like people were serious about playing football, but they weren't serious about attending practice. Like, a lot of these guys had to go through high school and perhaps college, and they had to be at practice every day. Do this, do that, do this. And they were forced to go to practice. Here they're not forced to go to practice, so it's very it's very obvious. I won't deny that. They haven't been really forced to go to practice ever, so they don't. So when they do come to practice, they're actually like enthusiastic. They're serious about the sport, and then they actually have fun afterwards. I wasn't really within the group dynamics back in the States, so that was a little weird. But from what Willie has described over the last year, what he's seen here from my Instagrams and Insta stories and stuff versus what he's seen over there, that teams sometimes are like that, but they're not fully. Like, everyone takes it more seriously. And the guys here say, yes, you guys take it more seriously in the States. And I'm like, they do, but they don't. Like, they do take it seriously, at least for semi-pro, but they just sort of slack it off. I'm not gonna lie, I saw some dumb mistakes on the Cobras, on the Pit Bulls, same mistakes I've seen here on the Hurricanes, actually on all the teams. So my semi-pro teams were, by and large, probably a bit more athletic than the Netherlands teams, but not necessarily, like there were standout players, and that's again, the similarity is you both have to pay to play. Like, the prices are different. I mean, obviously, one's in euros, one's in dollars, if you want to nitpick that crap. But, like, the price... Actually, I don't even know. I didn't pay it because I wanted to play. I wanted to get going and not have any issues. But I think it's, like, mid-200s, 250, 280, something like that. And, like, having to pay $250 in the States is, like, a crime. But the thing is we get, like, a clubhouse here. That's a difference. Semi-pro teams, by and large, don't have a clubhouse. They actually don't really have a functional club. They just have like a guy who orders a bunch of jerseys, probably from Pakistan, and and tries to get everything ordered through his like personal account, and he's dealing with like tens of thousands of dollars in an account and all that. But here they actually have a functional like treasurer, and it functions, like I said, it's a club, and that's how all the sports around here work. I mean, there's pickup games, like if some of the Hurricanes got together and we did like touch football, not necessarily flag, but like you can go and like push someone. If you knock them down, it's not going to be like, oh, you hurt me. Then that would just be a pickup game. But like amateur sports here are pretty much everything, and there's a jabillion of sports. Like, our club isn't just football. There's also softball and honkball. They call it honkball because that's the Dutch word for base. And I was like, so why don't you say Zoktebal? And they're like, because it's not the same thing. Zoktebal, not the same thing. And I'm like, fair enough, but it's baseball, softball, and some clubs that also do baseball have something called b-ball. But yeah. Anyways, so our club, it has like a bar in it and various other things. I don't know of any team that had that in the States. Like maybe they had a home stadium. Like we have our own field on the property that's behind, well, not really behind, it's behind a driving gate. You can, if you can, canal jump across the Slocha to get to the field, but who's gonna jump a 3-meter canal? But like I said, the guys are a lot more enthusiastic when they're at practice, and they're serious and relaxed. A lot of the guys in the States were serious, and it kind of rubbed off on me a little bit that I'm overly serious about football in respects to like here, and they're like, dude, don't take it so seriously. And I'm like, to be fair, I just don't know how to be light about it. I mean, I love it so much, but the competition level is obviously less than high school. In some high schools, some it's greater. We had one of our guys just freshly back from Nebraska, and he says that AFBN is harder than it was in rural Nebraska. And again, like he had like maybe one youth year here in Utrecht, and then he went over there to go to high school for like one term as an exchange student, and was like starting on the football team as a defensive back. No offense, Sophion, you're actually pretty good. Just saying. But if he was a part of like Jesuit and he was starting and he came back here, it probably wouldn't be anything like that. Like Jesuit and stuff, and that caliber of stuff was like Willie would probably come here and smoke. Well, that's a different topic. We got all that going on. It's different because like the similarities are they play the sports, except they're very hardline college rules. Whereas back in the States, sometimes we had a mix match of like this, that, and the other. And I want to say they're hardline college rules, but they're not, because they have 12-minute quarters. To be fair, these things, so it's like 12-minute quarters, but what are you doing with, but you have college, and I've watched numerous college games, and they're all 15-minute quarters, so I don't know what's up with that. This lighting is very unflattering for me. Anyways, I will get back to what I'm doing. It's almost dinner time. I just hope that if you guys have a chance to realize that there's football out there. I mean, Germany is much more serious in the upper levels. The fact is, 2020 is coming around. I'm healed up from my injury. Hopefully I won't get another one. Knock on wood. Oh, crappy wood this is. Not cedar. And we'll make a run for the national championship. And I really can't stress that enough. This is a national championship for American football. All y'all are just like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. He played stupid semi-pro. Well, now I'm playing for the national, now I'm in a team that competes for the national championship of the Netherlands. So anyways, I will see you guys as practices are coming up and all that jazz.